You've probably heard people talk about ETFs. They're one of the most popular and easiest ways to invest and grow your money, even if you have no idea how the stock market actually works. And today, I'll explain ETFs like year 6, but for adults. That means we'll keep it super simple, no confusing terms, no fancy finance talk. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what an ETF is, how it works, why investors love it, and how you can start using it to build wealth. Let's get started. This isn't financial advice, it's just education. If you like simple finance explained clearly, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss future videos. Let's start with a question. Why do people even invest? If you leave your money sitting in a savings account, it actually loses value every single year. That's because of inflation. Prices go up, but your money doesn't. $100 today might only buy you $90 worth of stuff a few years from now. So the goal isn't just to save money, it's to grow it. And one of the easiest ways to grow your money over time is by investing in ETFs. Now, what exactly is an ETF? ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. Think of it like a giant shopping cart full of stocks. Inside that cart, you might find pieces of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Coca-Cola, Tesla, hundreds or even thousands of companies all mixed together. When you buy one share of that ETF, you're basically buying a small piece of everything inside that cart. That's why ETFs are so powerful. Even if one company fails, your other companies keep your investment balanced. It's like not putting all your eggs in one basket. In finance, we call that diversification. So instead of trying to guess which company will win, like trying to pick the next Tesla or Google, you just buy a whole group of companies through one ETF. That way, you own a slice of the entire market. And because ETFs are managed automatically, they just follow an index like the S&P 500, you don't have to worry about paying some guy in a suit to make decisions for you. That means lower fees and higher returns in the long run. Let's put that into perspective. If you invested $10,000 in a typical mutual fund that charges a 1% yearly fee over 30 years, you could lose more than $150,000 in fees alone. But if you used a low-cost ETF with a 0.03% fee, you'd keep almost all of your profits. That's a huge difference. And it's why ETFs are so popular. Now, how does an ETF actually work? When you invest $100 into an ETF, your broker, maybe Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, or even Robinhood, takes that money and automatically spreads it across all the companies inside the fund. So your money might be a few cents in Apple, a few cents in Microsoft, a few in Google, and so on. You're instantly diversified without having to buy each stock individually. Most ETFs follow something called an index. That's just a list of companies. For example, the S&P 500 tracks the 500 biggest companies in the US. When those companies grow, your ETF grows. When they drop, your ETF drops. But over time, and this is the key, the market as a whole goes up. If you look at US stock market history, the S&P 500 has returned about 7 to 10% per year on average. That's after inflation. It doesn't mean you'll get that every single year. Some years are bad, some are great, but over decades, the trend is up. That's why ETFs are long-term investments. You don't buy them to get rich next month. You buy them so your future self can thank you 10, 20, or 30 years from now. There's a famous saying, time in the market beats timing the market. And it's true. Trying to predict when to buy or sell is almost impossible. No one, not even professionals, can consistently do it right. The people who usually win are the ones who just stay invested, ignore the short-term noise, and let compound growth do its thing. Let me show you why. If you invest $300 a month in an ETF that earns an average of 8% per year, in 30 years you'll have about 400Ds $8,000. If you waited just 10 years to start, you'd end up with only $180,000. Same monthly investment, just started later. That's the power of time. It multiplies your money quietly in the background. So now you might be thinking, okay, I get what ETFs are, but which ones should I buy? Here's the good news. You don't need a long list of funds. Just one or two is enough to cover almost the entire global market. In the US, here are some of the most popular options. VOO, Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. VTI, Vanguard, Total. US Stock Market, ETF. SCHB, Schwab, Total Market, ETF. If you want international exposure, you can also add VXUS, Vanguard Total International ETF. That's it. Those 4 ETFs give you exposure to thousands of companies across the US and the world. You don't need to overcomplicate it. And here's the best part. You can automate everything. Set up an automatic investment with your broker, $100 or $200 every month, and forget about it. That's called dollar cost averaging. It means you invest the same amount at regular intervals, no matter what the market is doing. Sometimes you'll buy when prices are high, sometimes when they're low, and over time, it all balances out. This approach removes emotion. You don't have to constantly check your phone or panic during market dips. You just keep investing calmly, consistently. Now let's talk about where to hold your ETFs. If you live in the US, the smartest move is to use tax-advantaged accounts like a 401k or a Roth IRA. With a 401k, you can invest pre-tax money and sometimes get free matching contributions from your employer. That's literally free money. With a Roth IRA, you invest after taxes, but your gains grow completely tax-free. That means if your $10,000 turns into $100,000, you won't owe the IRS a single dollar. And yes, you can also hold ETFs in regular brokerage accounts, but those accounts don't give you tax advantages. So try to fill your retirement accounts first. Now, are there any downsides to ETFs? Honestly, not many. The biggest one is that your ETF will still move up and down with the stock market. If the market drops 20%, your ETF might too. But remember, that's normal. Historically, every market crash has eventually recovered and hit new highs. The key is not to panic. ETFs also don't guarantee returns. They follow the market, and that means patience is everything. If you're looking for a quick profit, this isn't for you. But if you're willing to wait, stay consistent, and let time do the work, it's one of the smartest financial decisions you'll ever make. So let's recap. ETFs give you instant diversification, extremely low fees, and automatic exposure to the entire market. They work quietly, efficiently, and don't require constant attention. You don't need to check charts or predict trends. You just invest, hold, and let time compound your returns. If you start now, even with a small amount, your future self will thank you. Because building wealth isn't about luck, it's about consistency. ETFs are simple, they're cheap, they're reliable, and they might just be the most powerful tool for everyday people to achieve financial freedom. If this video helped you understand ETFs, leave a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which ETF you're investing in right now. And remember, the best time to invest was yesterday. The second best time is today.